All right, y'all, just got done with the morning routine. Nothing's really changed. You guys have seen it before. 20 minutes of fasted cardio, some type of ab circuit. Just did rope cable crunches today. I'm still sore from the day before. Head back up to the apartment, get this first meal in, and then get the day started. Just got done with fasted cardio. I'm gonna go ahead and get my first meal in today, which is what I'm gonna be covering. I mentioned it in last video, so if you guys haven't peeped that, go watch last week's video. Pretty much a segue in today's video, where I'm gonna be covering my current diet for the lean bulking phase that I'm on, and I'll also cover a little bit of nutrition. So typically morning routine, wake up, get some type of mobility in just to get the body active. I always hydrate. So one thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a liter of water in before I get my coffee in. So typically get about halfway through, and then I'll take my morning supplementation, which right now just consists of a fat burning powder just to help boost thermogenesis and just get the metabolism kick started in the morning. And then I'll just hydrate throughout the course of the 20 minutes of the cycling that I do and then the steps that I do after. And then typically I'll come in, and you guys always know, gotta have my coffee. I've been trying to refrain from going out and getting coffee just because you don't really know the additives that they put into it, and I'd rather just do it at home so I know what's in it. I'm trying to really monitor everything that I'm consuming in terms of just cooking everything so I know what's in my food and I know what I'm intaking into my body, because I have been experiencing some digestive distress when I go out to eat quite frequently. So I'm just trying to curb that. Today's meal is pretty much going to consist of 300 grams of egg whites, 2 slices of sourdough bread, and then I do about 60 to 70 grams of avocado just for my added fat source. And now I typically do that just because a lot of the protein selection that I use for my current food selection is lean protein, and I do that for the purpose of being able to control the amount of fat intake that I have. So including things like avocado, and obviously if you guys have been around for a while, you guys know I've been battling with my lipid profile, so implementing healthy fats such as avocado are just a good way to help curve that back into range. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started. I did want to mention today's structure for the diet is pretty much based off of recovery day. So there's no training today, just cardio and 10K steps. In terms of the difference between the training day and non-training day, typically my calories are about 500 less on non-training days and then 500 more on training days. So that pretty much looks about 2,500 to 2,600 for today, and then a training day would be about 3K. And the only difference is I increase carbohydrates throughout each meal. So there'll be one additional carbohydrate meal, a pre-workout, which is the pre-workout meal, which is not included in today. So just take that into consideration if you guys are trying to follow this or structure it out for something you guys want to follow. Just on non-training days, you can kind of just take this for what it is, typically less carbohydrates, less calorie intake. Then on a training day, you would implement more carbohydrates throughout your meals. That's the easiest way to do it. Fat and protein can kind of stay around the same range if you want to keep it basic. There is a little more complexity to it if you want to fully break it down in its full nature, but just to keep it basic, pretty much just add more carbohydrates on training days. But I'm gonna go ahead and get that started, so I'll show you guys what that looks like. All right, y'all, that's gonna be meal number 1. 2 slices of sourdough bread, 70 grams of avocado, and today we did 250 grams of egg whites, it's either going to be 250 or 300, kind of just depending on my appetite in the morning. So I'll just make up for the protein content in a later meal. Then I also have 6 ounces of pomegranate juice, and then obviously just my black coffee. But yeah, that's pretty much meal 1. After this, gonna get ready, go run some errands, probably go get some more steps in at Memorial, depending on the weather. And then pretty much there ain't really much going on today, to be honest. Just eating and watching some football, to be honest. Like yesterday was crazy lineup. Texans lost, like being from Houston. I'm not a Texans fan, but like, you know, being from Houston, you gotta support the local team. That was a good game. Honestly, yesterday was pretty like eventful in terms of like sports lineup. You had Texans and Ravens, and then you had Niners and Packers, both phenomenal games. And then you had the UFC 297. It was okay. I thought it was gonna be a lot more eventful in terms of just action. Main card, Strickland, Drakus, yeah, he has a crazy last name to pronounce. But anyways, that was like a pretty good fight. It's going to be really dope to see Drakus fight Adesanya. I think that's going to be like a super phenomenal fight. But yeah, pretty much just kicking back today, eating, watching some sports, and just getting ready for the upcoming week. All right, y'all, just getting my second meal in. Typically, my second meal, even on training days, is just pretty much like an intermediate meal, a snack. It'll be something that is light and pretty much just a carb and protein source, and then the fat source is typically just very moderate, nothing heavy. I do this just depending on appetite. If I'm really hungry that day, I'll go straight to a whole meal, and then the snack will be thrown in between. But today, since not much activity is being done, appetite isn't really crazy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and have my snack now, which is typically I'll do 180 grams of Greek yogurt, 1 bagel, 15 grams of almond butter, 15 grams of honey, and then I will sprinkle some sea salt on top. And this is honestly a pretty solid pre-workout meal. The only thing I would add in addition is either a little more carbohydrates. So instead of 1 bagel, probably do 2 bagels, or you can just add more honey or cream of rice, kind of just what your vibe is for that. But that's pretty much what that is gonna be. Nothing too crazy. This will hold me off probably for about another hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and then I'll have my next solid meal, which is typically just a protein source and a carbohydrate source. So most likely chicken breast, some white rice, and a little bit of veggie if I'm feeling it. As you guys know, I'm not really like crazy on vegetables, but I try to get them in every now and then. So nice, super simple snack that is packed with a decent amount of protein, decent amount of carbs, and moderate amount of fat. So I'm gonna get that down. I'll see you guys for meal number 3. About to get meal number 3 in. Just got done watching the game, Chiefs and Bills. Absolutely electrifying game. The Chiefs unfortunately did take it. I really did want to see the Bills play the Ravens, but too many mistakes. Anyways, I fell asleep during the game, so I'm a bit behind on meals. Like actually pretty behind. It's 8:48. Typically I'd be approaching my last meal. I still have 1 more meal after this, so I'm gonna try and make it up so I'm not having my last meal so later into the night. So for carbohydrate, I'm gonna go a full packet of these frozen rice packets from Trader Joe's. Just pop them in the microwave, super easy, super convenient, highly recommend them. This usually weighs out to about 275 grams per packet, roughly. And then I'm also gonna do 200 grams of cooked chicken for my protein choice. And because I am behind on meals, I'm gonna go ahead and do a scoop of whey protein just to get some extra protein in. So that'll be an extra 25 grams. But pretty straightforward, pretty simple meal. I'm gonna just get this down. Like I said, I'm kind of in a rush. I typically don't like to have my meals, like my last meal, I usually try to consume no later than 9:30. Obviously, that's not gonna be the case tonight. Still have 1 more meal after this, so I'm probably gonna wait at least a minimum of 2 hours after consumption on this. I'll probably head down to the fitness center and get some steps in just to help the metabolism just break the food down a little bit quicker, and also finish off my step goals. I have about 2K left on the day. So gonna get this down. I gotta go charge a Breeze Tesla. So I got quite a bit of things to do in a short amount of time, but always prioritizing the nutrition no matter what. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it for meal number 3. Nothing special, super basic. Like I said, convenience is a key factor for me. All right, y'all, just got done with doing our steps. Honestly, with how late it is, it's 10:15, pretty late. Got an early start to the day tomorrow. So I don't want to eat something that's too heavy because then my appetite's going to be suppressed in the morning. So I'm just going to go 300 grams of egg whites. I'm going to skip the whole process of showing you guys weighing it out and cooking it. You guys have seen that a million times, not only on this channel, but other channels as well, most likely. So that's going to be the final meal of the day. That's going to put me right at my macronutrient targets for the day. So everything's in range. Obviously, it was a little unconventional just because I got a late start on the day and then I fell asleep, took a very long, unexpected extended nap, so it threw off all the timing. What my current diet looks like, and this diet is pretty much going to be this way for probably the next 6 weeks. Quantities and amounts are going to increase, but in terms of the food selection, it's going to remain the same. Like I said, convenience is the biggest thing for me, and honestly the food selection that I have right now is the best food selection that has worked for me in the past. So there's that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's pretty much going to be the approach until my coach changes it or I feel like there needs to be adjustments made. But that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.